guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing this coral spring makeup look for you. So this was inspired by Kylie Jenner and Desi Perkins. So Kylie Jenner wore a peachy makeup look and then Desi Perkins recreated that peachy makeup look, and it just gave me so much inspiration for like a coral monochromatic makeup look. So that's what I've done for you today. So it's pretty simple, nothing too difficult, but if you want to see how I achieve this coral monochromatic spring makeup look, then please keep on watching. Okay, for foundation today, I want to use my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation stick again, but I want to try it with a different primer. So I'm going to go in with my Armani Fluid Master Primer. Now this primer is quite mattifying and smoothing, so I feel like it might be really nice under this foundation. It might make everything really kind of like smooth and might make the makeup last a bit longer. So I'm going to go in with that, and then I'm going to go in with my usual smoothing primer through the middle. So I'm going to put the smoothing primer on first. I don't want to layer the primers either. I want to have them in two separate places. So I'm kind of playing around today. I want to see what this does with the Makeup Forever foundation stick. See if it makes it last a bit longer. If you haven't already watched it, I did a first impressions review on the Makeup Forever, and I used the Mercier Hydrating Primer underneath. It looked beautiful when it first went on, but it didn't last amazing, and it kind of got really greasy and broke down a little bit. So I just want to play around and find kind of a good combination. And then yeah, like I said, going in with the Fluid Master Primer everywhere else. So this is one of those kind of silicone-y, mattifying, texture beating primers. And I find with this one, the less you put on the better, because it can get really kind of slippy and greasy quite quickly. So just a little bit, and you can feel it makes the skin feel really, really smooth. So hopefully this will work underneath. Okay, so going in with the Makeup Forever foundation stick. Now the colour I'm using is 115, which is the lightest shade we have in Australia, because we only got 5 shades. Now if you did watch my first impressions review, you'll know that I love this, but I just want to work around, see if I can make it last a bit longer. So I'm going to buff it in with my F80 flat kabuki brush again, like I did in the review, because I think it's a really great way to apply this foundation. Okay, so I've buffed it all in. I think it's looking pretty good, apart from all these hair dye lines. I think it's looking pretty good with that primer, actually. I'm not sure if it looks better. I mean, it looked amazing when I put it on the other day. It looks probably the same amount of amazing. But hopefully this primer will just make it last a bit longer. I'm just going over with a beauty blender just to kind of soften out any edges and just to kind of really work it into the skin. I find if you really kind of have any little areas where it's clinging a little bit, it just kind of pushes it into the skin a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my Master Corrector as usual on my under eyes. And then I'm just going to go over my under eyes with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. So I'm not going to conceal through the middle. I feel like this foundation is full coverage. So I'm going to leave the centre as it is, and I'm just going to bronze up the edges just to give the dimension. So just packing that on the under eye. A little bit on the temple. And again, I'm just going to blend that in with the Beauty Blender. So this Beauty Blender is dry. I'm using it dry today. I find the Beauty Blender works fine dry. Like, it's not an issue. It just soaks up a little bit of product when it's dry, so yeah. And then I'm just going to set that under eye concealer with my, look how broken it is. I've got like tiny bit left. It's all broken. The lid doesn't even close anymore. So I'm just going to set the under eyes. And then I'm just going to prime my upper eyelid with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And then I'm just going to set the eyelid with a bone-coloured eyeshadow. So I'm using the Napoleon Perdis Colour Disc Skinny Dip, which is just basically a bone neutral eyeshadow. But you can use any kind of neutral skin tone eyeshadow that you have. Okay, brows done. So now I'm going to go on to the rest of my face, and I'm going to bronze with my Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel bronzing makeup base. So cream bronzer. This is my most favourite cream bronzer of all time. I love it so much. So I'm just going to pop it on with my makeup sponge, my Chi Chi makeup sponge, just around the edges. So I find the best way to use this is a little bit at a time. Pat it into the skin, blend it, go back for more, build it up. Okay, so I'm just going to set that with a face powder just a little bit darker than my skin tone. So I'm using the Napoleon Perdis Camera Finish in the shade G4. Now these are basically face powders, but they come in really, really awesome shade range. I actually used to work for Napoleon when I first moved to Australia, and I used to really love these powders and I kind of forgot about them. And I was going through my makeup drawer the other day and I started using one of the shades for contouring, and I remembered just how much I liked them. So I'm just pressing that on top of that just to set it into the skin. And then I'm just going to set the centre of the face with that Laura Mercier translucent setting powder again. So I'm not baking, I'm just going to pat it in with this is like a blush brush. Now for blush today, I'm using one of the little blushes that I got when I did my Asian beauty shopping. So this is by a brand called Canmake, and it's a cream to powder blush. Now I've used it once before and I absolutely loved it. It's so cute. So best way to apply this is kind of just pat it in with like a foundation brush. So this is the Giorgio Armani, and I think it's the blender brush. It's one of their foundation brushes. So I'm just going to work that into the apples of the cheeks. So just patting it onto the brush and then just kind of patting it into the apples of the cheeks. So like I said, it goes on like a cream, but then it sets like a powder. So you kind of work it into the skin like a cream. And then it's got a beautiful powder finish, so you get the longevity. It's really pretty actually. Last time I wore it, I really, really liked it. And then I'm just going to go over that with that beauty blender just to make sure it's nice and soft and there's no edges. Okay, now I'm going to go onto the eyes. So first of all, I'm just going to take my Zoeva 223 crease brush, and I'm just going to pop a wash of this shade here through the socket. So the one I'm using first of all is called Orange. I want to say it's called Sherbet Orange or Orange Sherbet. And I'm just going to wash that through the socket. So just putting it generously on the brush, starting on the outer corner, and then blending that up into the socket. So being quite soft with it. We don't want to be too overly precise. Just creating like a nice soft transition shade. So outer corner of the eye, and then blending it out through the socket of the eye. And I'm also going to wash that lightly onto the lid, so we get like a nice wash of kind of like peachy orange all over the eye area. Now I'm just going to go in and darken up the socket a little bit. So with my Morphe M506 brush, I'm going to take this shade here. This is called Amazon Jungle. And I'm just going to use that just to darken up slightly just on the outer corner of the eye and up into that socket. And then just starting on the outer corner and then just taking it up into that socket. So this is a much smaller brush, so much more precise. But again, we don't need to worry about being perfectly precise. We're just kind of creating a darker socket. So you can see that's just kind of added a little bit of shape and definition to the outer corner, but without it kind of overpowering. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with that bone white shade and just using like a really small flat eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to press it under the brow bone just to kind of really brighten under the brow bone area. So next I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown gel liner in the shade Espresso Ink, which is like a dark kind of chocolatey brown, like a dark chocolate brown. And I'm just going to use that to line the top lash line. So I'm just going to use the Zoeva 317 angled eyeliner brush to do this. So now I'm just going to line the bottom and top waterline with my Colourpop cream gel liner in Overboard, which is like a beautiful like bronzy gold shade. So I'm just going to pop that all through. And then I'm also running that into the lower lash line. And then taking my 226 smudger brush, I'm just going to smudge and blend all that along. And then just going back in with that first transition shade that we used, I'm just going to blend that along that lower waterline. And then taking a smaller pencil brush and that darker shade that we used on the upper eyelid and just running that along the outer corner just to darken and deepen the outer corner of the lower lash line. Okay, last step for the eyes is mascara. So I'm going to use my Lancome Hypnose Star Mascara in black and I'm just going to pop that through. So I'm going to pop some lashes on, but I'm just doing outer corner lashes. So popping on some mascara first. I'm just going to let that set and I'm going to go on and do my lips. So for the lips today, to keep in with this corally theme, I'm going to use my Lipland liquid lipstick in So Seductive. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of my Armani Flash Lacquer 300 on top just to give it a little bit of a glossy finish. And then I'm going to let that set, and then I'm going to do my lashes, and I'm going to go back and put the gloss on. Set, 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 set. So I'm using these lashes here. It's hard for you to see. So again, I got these from the Asian shop where I got my Asian makeup haul from, and I love these lashes. These are my favourite half lashes now. They're so good and so comfortable. So now just a little bit of lip gloss. I'm just using that Armani Flash Lacquer 300 and I'm just going to pop that on the middle. I love putting glosses on top of liquid lipsticks. It just means that you can wear a liquid lipstick but without that matte, tight, dry feeling. Alright, last step is just a highlight. So I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit and I'm going to use Moonstone, which is like the rosy goldy one. Will go perfect with this makeup look. So just using like a really tiny definer brush. First of all, I'm going to do my Cupid's bow. And then the inner corners. I'm just going to put a little bit under the brows. And then top of the cheekbones. And then just a little bit above the brow. I want like a beautiful glowy skin today. And then what I like to do is just take any excess off the brush and then just kind of pack it, tap it into the center of the face. And then just a quick spritz of setting spray. So I'm going to use the MAC Fix Plus because it accentuates any dewiness. So this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be starting to do all of my Halloween tutorials. So I'm doing one a week for October. So the first one went up on Friday. So if you haven't seen that, go and see it. It's my vampire tutorial, which I did on my partner. And then I've got another 3 coming up this month. And then I might squeeze in maybe another one or another two. I love this time of year. I love doing creative makeup. So if you don't want to miss them, please do subscribe. But like I said, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, evening-y. Hey, more dramatic fun.